Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dover Motor Speedway for the SimRacerHub.com 165, and welcome to the final race of the regular season. That's right, after this, in 2 weeks' time, we go to Charlotte to kick off the playoffs. So it should be an interesting time out there, as all my stuff just decided to minimize randomly. Excellent. We're getting ready for a pit party here. So action should be on the track in just a few moments. Wait for everyone to start rolling off here. Currently have 23 cars registered for racing action. As they're all starting to make their way off of pit road, getting ready for a pit party. A bit of drama there as they're trying to get going. Logan McCannally at the moment with the fastest lap at 23.051 over Thomas Harmon, who has an 0.59, so just 0.008 of a second separating them. As it looks like they're ready and set for the pit party, and they're off. Oh, from the front row. I didn't see who that was, but that is much drama and chaos. Many deaths occurred. Many deaths still occurring. We have Corey Cook driving backwards. Getting a good A there from Scott Rickard. So I guess they're going to re-rack and stack that one and try it again. It is a cooler day in Dover here today. 23 degrees centigrade ambient temp. 39 degree track temp. 50% humidity. The wind flowing to the east at 17 kilometers an hour. And just for perspective, that's coming from the back straight to the front straight. They get a big push through 3 and 4. Cars are making their way back out onto the track. They don't want to go for a second lap. They're going to have to get motivated here to get lined up. And it looks like it was Scott Rickard with the... No, it wasn't Scott. There's Scott. Oh, maybe it was Brent that had the oopsie on the race start there for the pit party. In the light blue car that I can't read the number on. Yeah, it looks like we've got some kind of order. They should go this time by 45-mile-an-hour pace speed. Here they go for another attempt. This is why we do pit parties, just in case someone steps on their dick. And they're off. Someone didn't start in second gear. Well, they started in fourth. Tire outside line got checked up massively. That was a great save there for Ken Campbell, although it did turn into death. Jack Sanders came back up on the track. Body panels flying everywhere. Apron bad. That was for Brent Reed. Apron bad. Oh, a couple of big smacks into the fence. Looked like James Watson and Jonas Marquez that did that. Coming out of turn 4. With the wind direction, it's not surprising that that happened. As I said, the wind coming from the back straight to the front straight, so it's pushing you into that fence there coming out of 4. Oh, it's Mark, the next victim of turn 4. Brent just about caused some chaos there. Everyone just doing everything they can to try and hold on for dear life. That's only practice. Let's go through the top 10 here real quick. It's Logan McAnally in the 19, the 38 Thomas Harmon, the 05 Scott Rickett in 3rd. Thad Faylor in the 21 is 4th. We've got Matt Horton in 5th in the 89. The Cookie Monster himself, Corey Cook in the 61 and P6. Jonas in the double O car is in 7. Ken Campbell 8 in the 15. Ryan Pizzakemi is 9th in the 78, and Austin Dan in the number 3 is in 10th. Although Ken Campbell did just move up to P6 in front of Corey Cook. So a little change in order there. 25 cars registered for racing action at the moment. Andrew Griesbaum and Austin Collins, currently no lap times set for them. The 12, Chris Champeau. A big move there on the 5 of Mark Pentacuff. There's one car up in the fence. I didn't quite see who that was. And there's the 9 of Joe Slama right behind the 78 of Pizzakemi. The gold and blue car. Reggie Ortega just in behind him as well. Now this has a very difficult pit lane entry as well. Probably one of the most difficult pit entries in the schedule. Especially when you consider you got to go from 150 mile an hour down to just 35 at the line. That's one of the slowest pit lanes we have as well. There's a 13 Travis Massier. There's about 9 laps left here in practice. Time ticking down very quickly. Track temp's gone up to 41 degrees Celsius. Ambient temp hasn't changed from 23. Wind direction and speed hasn't changed either. Oh, Reggie Ortega's got it wrong. I think he was collected by Matt Sisler. The time ticking down very quickly here. Only just over 2 minutes left in practice. Two minutes is enough for them to do just under 6 laps. We get 4 or 5. Although that's now changed to about 3 or 4 laps. Depending on where they are on the track. But we have just a minute left in practice, which means just one thing. We are going to be going to a commercial break now so these guys can get in and get qualifying underway. So when we come back, we will be seeing the grid and how it is set here for the Sim Racer Hub 165, live and exclusive from the Dover Motor Speedway. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Racing action will be coming up very shortly. Welcome back to the SimRacerHub.com 165 here from the Dover Motor Speedway, I should say. Qualifying is complete and our grid has been set. So it's time for us to start going through our grid. On the pole, even though he's not there yet, will be the 05 of Scott Rickard on his outside. MP2 will be the 15 of Ken Campbell. Then out of P3, we have the 35. I hit the wrong name, apparently. There it is, the 35 of Joshua Banks. Once we get a camera angle where we can actually see them, there we go. P4 will be the 3 of Austin Dan. P5, we have the 21 Thad Failer. P6, the 12 of Chris Champeau. P7 will be the 89 of Matt Horton. P8, the 2 of Reggie Ortega. P9 will be the 61, the Cooking Monster himself, Corey Cook. With P10, the 93 of Matt Sisler. P11 will be the 9 of Joe Slammer. With P12, the 39 James Watson. We'll have the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez out of 13th, with the 07 of Brent Reed out of 14th. Austin Collins in the 74 will be out of 15th, with the 38 of Thomas Harmon out of P16 in a terrible qualifying effort there. Jack Sanders will be out of 17th in the 25 car, with Logan McAnally in the 19 out of 18. Got Andrew Griesbaum in 19th, with Travis Messier at 20th. Brian Pizzacami 21st. Patrick Orr 22nd. Jonas Marquez 23rd. Mark Pentecup in 24th. And we have one car missing from the grid. Since we've got 25 cars, unless it's counting me as a spectator as the 25th car, which I hope not. So here we go, the 05 Scott Rickard to lead us away. Strength of the field is a 3.2k, so 3,200 strength of the field. Got 120 laps of this mile-long track. I do believe the pace car is going to make that hard left turn into pit lane, which means we're going to get ready to go straight away. And remember, the first start is on green. The restart is on the leader inside of the restart zone, as we are green. And it was a great start from Campbell and Dan on the outside. But that inside run, especially since there hasn't been too much outside running from what I've seen, has proved pivotal there for the 05 of Scott Rickard, as Joshua Banks trying to get up on the inside of Austin Dan. He does so to take over third, and he's going to actually challenge for second as well, although the momentum there with Ken Campbell kept him in that second position. I'm hearing these cars have been incredibly tight on corner entry. So that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on as we go 3 wide here in the back of the pack. Just ever so slightly, as the camera doesn't know where to focus. We already set it to focus on crashes, just because Dover is such a wild track. Anything can happen from anywhere. Still Scott Rickard leading the way over Ken Campbell, Joshua Banks, Austin Dan, Chris Champeau in 5th. As I just saw the 13 of Travis Massier making a move on Brent Reed, and he will take that position. That was the battle for 17th. And Reed is going to probably lose a few more here, as he got a little bit too high, just about smacked the fence coming out of turn number 4. Now, track temp did drop considerably going into qualifying. It went down to 29 degrees Celsius, so the track had a lot of grip, and it was very cloudy for qualifying. Track temp back up to 36 degrees Celsius now, and the wind speed has dropped off a couple kilometers an hour. That's about a mile an hour for Americans. So it did just pick back up 1K. And humidity's picked up as well. It's now 52% humidity. Still 23 degrees Celsius ambient temp. Cedarfield making their way down through turns 3 and 4 now. Looking at Joe Slama, he's currently in the 9th position in the 9 car. As I said, the camera just doesn't know where to focus. A tyre wear around here is definitely a point of contention. We'll probably be seeing a bit of tyre wear related issues. Short run left sides wear out a ton. But after a few laps, the right side tyres catch up and then they have pretty even tyre wear depending on how you drive. But as well as that, tyre heat can be a big issue. Especially the right front and the right rear. You see a big challenge there from Matt Horton onto the back of Chris Champeau. That is for the 5th position. There's Sisler and Slama there as well. I'll be waiting for any mistake from either of those 2 cars ahead so they can try and take the advantage. You see, they're not really running the exact low line here. Couple cars running about a lane, maybe a lane and a half up as, oh wow, what a big dive there for Matt Horton to take over the 5th position. Chris Champeau was left all out of sorts there. And now he's under pressure from Sisler. Looks like Sisler's going to take over the 6th position. And straight back down to the bottom of the track goes Chris Champeau to maintain 7th. Let's see, that's caused a bit of check-up here and allowed the next 4 cars to catch up to them as well. The 21 Thad Failer, the 39 of James Watson. Got Jonathan Hernandez there as well as Corey Cook. 61 as Watson makes a move on Ballor. At the same time, Cook trying to make a move on Slama. Watson gets that move made. Here comes Hernandez now. Slama still holding on strong on the outside of the Cookie Monster. See the Taco Bell 74 there, Austin Collins. And he has Thomas Harmon on his tail. Looks like Slama actually going to hold the advantage here on the outside line over Corey Cook. The outside line's starting to come in a little bit already. The leaders have cleared out from the field. Reggie Ortega has actually taken over the 5th position from Horton and has cleared station. And it looks like everyone just driving within their capabilities here. You tend to drive a little bit harder in practice than what you do in the race. They're just trying to find that edge of the grip as Collins moves up high and allows Harmon through. McAnally is there as well. He couldn't take advantage of Collins running high. Like Watson's trying to tick off another one as he gets around Corey Cook. That is falling back a little bit. Just up ahead, saw Chris Champeau getting overtaken by Slama. So it looks like Corey Cook's starting to fall off the handle a little bit as a big dive on the inside of Fallow from the 38 of Harmon. And this race is just as much about racing the track as it is racing your competitors. It's normally something that we say for road course racing, but it's true for a difficult track like this as well. Fully concrete mile-long circuit that has big bumps on corner entry and exit. And it's all about how you use your tires around here, how wise you can be with it. It looks like laps ticking away very quickly here. I do have slightly more laps than what we'd normally see, but again, that's because the mile track instead of a mile and a half. And inside on the infield of this track, there's a trotting track for a different kind of horsepower. Corey Cook gets back to the inside of James Watson with a couple laps for him to get his tyres back in check. Jonathan Hernandez now goes for the move on Watson as well. That's also opened the door for Harmon, who's just going to squeeze his nose up there. And similarly, just behind McCannley, getting around Austin Collins. Looks like Watson just going to run high and fall back here a little bit, look after his stuff a little bit. Gets back in line just in front of Collins. And it all has calmed down again. Go check in on our leaders, see how they're going. There's the 05 Scott Rickard. And we've got Joshua Bankson behind. Austin Dan still sitting there in third, but he's a little bit off the lead. 1.6 seconds off the lead to be exact. There's Ken Campbell just behind him. Reggie Ortega off in the distance as Sisler and Horton appear to be battling here. Horton to the inside, Sisler to the outside. These guys battling over the 6th position. Oh, Horton sent it in hard. Forced Sisler up the track there slightly. Sisler with that momentum on the outside, able to hold on. Horton looked like he was almost going to size up an outside move there. Back down to the inside he goes. Horton once more drives it in deep. Just doesn't quite have the legs on it on corner exit. To where Sisler has all the momentum. Sisler immediately came down there in turn 3. Put all the dirty air on the nose of Horton, trying to make him make a mistake. Horton now running up high in 1 and 2. Seeing if that makes a difference. I think Slammer had a little bit of target fixation there. Followed Horton up on the higher line. Didn't do it in 3 and 4 though. As the cloud cover starts to descend upon the Dover Motor Speedway. We're already almost a quarter of the way through this race. If I'm not mistaken, I think the stage here would be lap 40 for stage points. We generally have it about 1/3 of the way through this race. And that 40 would be 1/3 as just about contact there between the two mats. Horton driving super hard on corner entry. I think he caught the wall there ever so slightly coming out of 4. He's doing everything in his power to try and get a run on Sisler. To the inside he goes once more. Chris Champeau in the background, similarly trying to make a move on Slama. Oh, this time Horton makes the move stick. Sisler drove hard but just couldn't quite hold it that time. Yeah, all seems pretty calm. I say that in hopes of something happening soon. See Thomas Harmon, Jonathan Hernandez both very active in the driver voice channel. As Brent Reed is the first to go a lap down, he's running up high to allow everyone through. Awkward position there for Salama, who caught him on the exit of 4 as the sun comes back out once more. Now with this racetrack being concrete, it's not as affected by the sun as what an asphalt track would be. The track was 36 degrees Celsius and it only dropped 1 degree in that cloud cover. Now the sun's back up, it'll probably take a while for it to go back up to 36 degrees. Let's see. Sisler now under threat from Champeau. Saw another move happening just behind these guys as Champeau makes that pass stick. I think McAnally got under Salama is what I saw, as Hernandez is about to be hounded by Austin Collins. See a little bit of looseness coming in for some of these guys on corner exit. This is where things could get interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be waiting to see green flag pit stops. So make sure you guys stay tuned. More action be coming up shortly. Welcome back to the Sim Racer Hub 165 here from the Dover Motor Speedway. We're looking at the back of our leader, Scott Rickard, as he just recently put Mark Pentecouple out down. We can see second, third, and fourth right there in camera shot. It's Joshua Bakes, Ken Campbell, and Austin Dan. Austin Dan actually just got overtaken by Ken Campbell. So Campbell on a little bit of a charge here. Like he got overtaken by both of them and then reset his tyres a little bit. As Brent Reed goes a second lap down. Now looking at the 9 of Joe Slama. As he's trying to battle here with Cook and Collins. We do have one car in the pits. Just trying to see who that is. And it's Jack Sanders in the 25 that's in the pits. So he's just completed his pit stop. He should be good to go to the end from here. And Campbell's worked his way back up into P2. Looks like he's going to start charging after Scott Rickard now. There's only a second gap between Campbell and Rickard. I think Austin Dan might have just caught the fence there a little bit coming out of 4. Track temp's gone up to 37 degrees. All the running they're doing on the track and the sunlight coming back out. I was currently looking at Corey Cook. He's making just a couple little mistakes here. And Austin Collins lost a bit of ground recently. So he's made a mistake somewhere along the line. Oh, it was in the foreground. Thomas Harmon smacked the fence. That's allowed Joe Slama through. Harmon down in 11th now. Possibly with some damage. He's going to be a sitting duck for this group of cars as Austin Collins uses Thomas Harmon as a pick to try and get around Corey Cook. They're going to go 3 wide. Collins couldn't quite make that move stick. That Failer was very aggressive in getting down to the low line, trying to keep Brian Pizzicami at bay. Pizzicami's going to sneak to the inside this time though. And that is Pizzicami officially up into 14th now. Hernandez trying to sneak underneath the Failer as well. Not going to get there, but around the outside, look at Jack Sanders go with his fresh tyres. That's the difference in tyres right now. That's how much you could gain by pitting just that little bit early. And Thomas Harmon, seeing that performance, he's going to come into the pits. Thomas Harmon with an early stop coming in before the halfway mark. Let's see if it pays off for him. He has a lot to gain and not much to lose by pitting this early. Because everyone's just getting swarmed by the super fast Jack Sanders on his fresh tyres. Oh, it looked like Mark Pentecoff caught the fence there a little bit coming out of 4. Unlucky. Pentecoff down in 21st. The second car a lap down. Got 2 cars in the pits. I'm not sure who else is down there right now. Thomas Harmon's still in the pits. Brent Reed is the other one. And Thomas actually getting damage fixed here. He's been in the pits for over 90 seconds, so he's definitely not just trying to go for that early stop. He's got some major damage on the 38 car. Means he'll be a non-factor for the race. Oh, there was an incident. Patrick Orr into 16. Just waiting to see if everyone gets around him. Just about. Thad Baylor hit the fence. Let's see what unfolded here for the 18 car. Now, he was a lap down at this point. So Mark Pentecoff will get the lucky dog here. Let's see, he's running high. Here comes McCannally in the 19. And, oh, the 25. Jack just caught him in the left rear. And up into the fence goes the 18 car. Great work here from our camera operators. And let's actually pause it here. Go find Thad in the 21. And have a look in his cockpit. Let's just slow it right down as well. Oh, so he's tried to check up, trying not to get into the back of Patrick and of Brian, and unfortunately, he chose poorly. So that's the way the first caution has fallen. So both Thomas and Jack here will get the lucky dog wave around. That'll put Jack 1 lap down. Thomas will be 4 laps down. And I do believe that Mark Pentecoff was the lucky dog wave around. We'll just wait for those two to get waved around to the back. Ken Campbell is now the leader of the race. He got in and out of the pits just 1 second faster than Scott Rickard, and that's all that he needed. As the lights are out, we're going to go green next time by. Now, the leader does have lane choice in this situation, and it looks like Ken Campbell has chosen the inside line. And he gets to control the restart inside of the restart zone. One thing I find is pitting a little bit, restarting a little bit earlier here in the restart zone is beneficial not just for you but for the rest of the pack as well, as everyone is still in the corner. Because the straightaway generally gives you a lot of wheel spin, which is another thing that we could see here from anywhere in the field. It's people punching the gas that little bit too hard. So here we go. The pace car is in. We are past the halfway point. So everyone is good to go to the end. We're green. And Scott Rickard looks like he spun the wheels a little bit. Got a horrible restart. And Campbell clean and clear into the lead here. The restart of this race. Scott Rickard's probably going to lose a couple positions. He'll drop back to fourth maybe. Oh, he hit the fence. Coming out of turn 2. This is how hard they're pushing here at the restart. Clean air is key around a track like this. Oh, he's hit the fence once more. Scott Rickard playing fast and loose with the right side. That car's caution is out once more. Just trying to see who's in it. I saw the 39. James Watson is in it. So let's see what's happened here. This is going into turn 1. Oh, it's happened just up ahead of him. All right, so let's reset this. Back it up. Yeah, there it is. The 89 and the 9. Now, does the 89 come down? Does the 9 go up? And looks like Slama has come up into the side of Horton. Down the track they both go. Now, where does James fit into this? Guess we'll wait and see here in a second. He moves up to avoid the 2. Oh, Slama comes spinning back up the track. James had nowhere to go. Pizzacami got very lucky in all of this. So too, Jonathan Hernandez. Griesbaum, another one who's very lucky. Looks like Sisler got lucky there as well. That's unfortunate. That took out a couple more decent cars. And Scott Rickard was somehow able to hold on to third there in all that mess. There's your leader, Ken Campbell. There's Ken Campbell, Joshua Banks, Scott Rickard, Austin Dan, Reggie Ortega, Chris Champeau, Logan McAnally, Austin Collins, the Cookie wants to see himself, Corey Cook, and Brian Pizzacami as your top 10. Like Reed, Marquez, and Orr are all out of the race. As the lights are out, we're going to go one more time around. I think the lucky dog for this one was the 25 of Jack Sanders. So here we go, shaping up for the restart. Once more, Ken Campbell has chosen the inside line. He gets to control the restart inside of the restart zone. Here we go. Restart number 2. And we're green. Another great restart there for Ken Campbell, but a really good restart there as well for Scott Rickard. He immediately shoots back up into second in front of Joshua Banks. And now he's going to try and charge after the leader in Ken Campbell. But he's going to have to worry about the 2 behind him because everyone here at the front of the field still running the same strat. Oh, it was very close as Banks to the rear end of Rickard. But Rickard did bang down the wall a couple times previous to this restart. Banks up on the inside now, trying to make something of it. Rickard trying to hold on strong around the outside. This is where he'll drive too hard and hit the fence. This is what we've seen in the previous restart. Oh, he's just managed to keep it off the fence that time. Reggie Ortega also well and truly in this battle, as Banks clears Rickard and takes over the second position. This is where all the action is right now. Because all these guys driving that little bit harder, trying to get whatever they can out of it. Campbell just trying to maintain the lead. Everyone behind these guys is all single filed out as well. Banks starting to look for some fresh air anywhere he can get around Ken Campbell. Trying to make the move. Campbell is running the perfect line right now. It gives Banks hope, but not enough that he can actually go for anything. Austin Dan similarly trying to look for a move on the 05 of Rickard. Banks peeks to the inside. It was blocked by Campbell. He goes to the outside. There was a little bit of contact there in the turn 3. Campbell still holding on to it for now. Almost contact again on the straight. 2 by 2 they go through turns 1 and 2. And Banks holding on to the advantage with the momentum on the outside. And he'll take the lead into turn 3. Rickard almost getting his nose to the outside of Campbell as well. Campbell shuts that down on the straight. Here goes Dan to the inside of Rickard now. Rickard now knows that the tyres are good enough that the outside line could work in defence, possibly even attack. And it's not going to work out for him just yet. He did just have his nose ahead at the start-finish line. But that doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. Epic battle here, though, for the third position. Oh, that was a big hit into the fence for Rickard. He will concede third position now and drop into fourth. As I said, Reggie Ortega is right there, ready to pounce. We focus on crashes now, looking at the battle for the bottom of the top 10, as Pizzacami and Hernandez have moved up to 9th and 10th respectively. Corey Cook in the 61 trying to break into the top 10. And it looks like he's not going to be able to get there at the moment. 13, Travis Masio, another one looking to get up in there. And just having a quick little squiz here. Like Thomas Harmon, the first car laps down, as he is 4 laps down. So if we get 4 cautions and no one separates Thomas from being the first car to lap down, and he'll get his laps back and be back on the lead lap. I think with the way the field is spread out here and thinned out, I don't think we'll get too many more cautions at all. Jonas Marquez in 21st. He's the first car out. There are 4 cars out. There's Patrick Orr, Joe Slammer, Jonas Marquez and Matt Horton. I do feel for Horton though. He was absolutely the innocent victim in that. A few seasons ago, that's just how his season went. He was just constantly involved in one thing after another. You see all kinds of pressure being poured onto our leader from the 15er, Ken Campbell. He wants that lead back real bad. He's going to be all up on him like someone threw a can of soup. Very tight margins, especially around a track like this where there is no escape from anything. Just look at how hard Ken Campbell's driving here in second. Trying to put all the pressure on Banks. They probably looked at their tyre wear during the pit stop and was like, yep, we can drive hard. Because that's exactly what they're doing. The cloud cover once more descends upon the speedway. Didn't last long, though, by the looks of things. Maybe a little bit in the back straight in 3 and 4. In fact, it hasn't belted the whole track now. They'll probably see the track come down 1 or 2 degrees. Joshua Banks just controlling the race right now. He's not overdriving the vehicle at all. Just doing everything he needs to do to maintain the lead and make sure Ken Campbell's going to have a hard time of it. As in the background, there was a move on between Dan and Rickard. Dan on the outside, Rickard on the inside. Reggie Ortega there as well. Oh, Austin Dan, big smack into the fence. Didn't lose too much momentum though, as Logan McAnally starting to join in on this party. He's right up behind Ortega and Rickard now. Looks like Rickard conceded position to Ortega there. But what can McAnally do in this position? Remember, everyone pitted at the same time under that first caution. At least for the first 10 drivers on the track. As Rickard, big smack into the fence. That's going to be all the invitation that McAnally needed. As Rickard now drops out of the top 5 for the first time today. Now Rickard will be ruining that first caution. All because of that caution that he overdrove the restart and smacked the wall a few times. His car would be feeling absolutely evil right now. And by evil, I mean tighter than a nun's nasty. Oh, as everything froze there for a second for me. All back under control now. Collins now is going to go for the move on Rickard. Looks like similarly, Christian Poe is going to do the same thing here within the next couple of laps. In fact, he's going to do it right now. It's behind them as well. Is the 78 Brian Pizzakemi. Got the 88 Jonathan Hernandez back there as well. Those are 2 drivers on the charge. And Reggie and Logan have both gotten around Austin Dan. Though Logan's still locked in mortal combat. And it looks like Champo couldn't quite get the move made, and now he's stuck behind the 05 of Rickard. A few cars starting to join in on this battle. As Pizzakemi clears the both of them. They're going to go 3 wide in turn 2. There's a little bit of a tap. They managed to save it. Champo and Corey Cook going to lose out on a lot of positions there. The stagger 3 wide. Chris kept coming down. He did have the run on Rickard, but Corey Cook had the run on the both of them. I don't think he would have gotten the radio call for it. Spotters can be a little bit weird like that sometimes. As Travis Massio gets around Scott Rickard now. It looks like if we stay green, this is just going to be the way the race finishes here. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will be going to the checkered flag. So make sure you guys stay tuned. More racing action from the Sim Racer Hub 165 will be coming up very shortly. Welcome back to the SimRacerHub.com 165 here from the Dover Motor Speedway. And we're looking off the nose of our second place getter, currently Ken Campbell, as he is trying to chase back down Joshua Banks, who's leading this thing with just about 20 laps to go, with 20 to go at the line. A couple of changes of position have occurred throughout the race. In fact, we've got a battle here between Pizzicami and Hernandez. Hernandez, who's been following Pizzicami for the majority of the race, he slides up the track in 1 and 2, almost getting into the door of Pizzicami, as Pizzicami looks like he's going to hold on to position for the moment. These guys are battling over 7th, just ahead of them. We have a battle between Reggie Ortega and Austin Collins. Looks like Collins is going to concede position there. We'll go back to focusing anywhere and everywhere. Austin Dan has fallen off the cliff a bit. He's dropped back to P6. He's actually under threat from Pizzicami as well. Pizzicami just getting to his inside here, I think. Oh, not quite. As Hernandez almost looks to the outside of Pizzicami. So laps are ticking down, as I said. There's now just 18 laps to go in this race. Sorry, 17 laps. 16 and a half if you look at where the leader is. Speaking of our leader, he's just about to encounter some lap traffic. Just up ahead, we have Brent Reed in the 07. And Josh will make very quick work there of Brent. So too will Ken Campbell. That Campbell put him in a better spot than what Joshua Banks did. Banks had a compromised entry into 1 and 2, whereas Campbell got to run his normal line the whole way around. Next car on the list for these guys to catch up to will be Jack Sanders, but he's 5 seconds up the road. Go back to focusing anywhere and everywhere, and come back to the Hornet's Nest. As that's Austin Dan, who's just been swallowed up by Pizzicami and Hernandez. And it looks like 13 of Travis Massio is going to get up there as well. He does. Austin Dan, as I said, has really fallen off the cliff here a little bit. Probably pushed his tires way too hard, too early. As Hernandez and Pizzicami get a little bit dory with each other there in 3 and 4. They're driving hard for the 6th position. They're also catching up to Collins and Ortega here as well. Oh, Pizzicami just about copped a right rear from Hernandez. Hernandez is a fan of the Weber Valley Facebook page. It's AI generated stuff going on there. Interesting stories though, as Hernandez now makes that move stick. Corey Cook trying to look to the inside of Travis Massio. He's not going to quite get there as Pizzicami fires one back down the inside of Hernandez. And Hernandez looks like he's going to use that momentum. Oh, he's hit the wall. That was a big hit too. That gave all the advantage to Pizzicami. Here comes Massio as well, peeking to the inside. He's not going to be able to make anything of it, as Hernandez got very loose there coming out of 2. 10 laps to go in this race. It's definitely starting to heat up now. Battle for the lead still on in earnest between Banks, Campbell and McAnally. Only 1.2 seconds separating our leading 3, as Hernandez once more peeks to the inside of Pizzicami. Pizzicami says not this time. Another wall tap for Hernandez. This has allowed Corey Cook to the inside, and this is what Pizzicami wants to see. This now opens him up to focus ahead while these two battle behind, as Hernandez maintains the position. Someone should tell Pizzicami that apron bad, and someone should tell Corey Cook that wall bad. As Brent gets out of the way of these drivers as they're battling hard for position. Another battle up ahead between Ortega and Collins. Currently Ortega with the advantage there. Collins has taken the advantage coming out of 4. Got a car in the pits. I think that was Thad Faylor. He's gone 2 laps down. Jack Sanders is a lap down as well now. He's the first car a lap down. We have 5 laps left in this race. Let's go have a look at our leader. And that gap has come down between first and second. It was out to half a second. It's now back down to 0.2. Now the question will be if Ken Campbell has anything for Joshua Banks here in the dying laps. They get around Thad Faylor, who's just come out of the pits. What can Ken Campbell do to get around Joshua Banks? With just 2.5 laps to go. The chrome horn is an option as well. As Campbell got super loose coming out of 4. He got loose when he corrected it again as well. That could just be his run at the win over. So come through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. It's going to be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it. Down through turns 1 and 2 they go. And on to the back straight for the final time. Your winner of the SimRacerHub.com 165 as they come out of turn 4 is going to be the 35 of Joshua Banks. Ken Campbell second, Logan McAnally third. Looks like we're going to have Austin Collins just coming home in 4th over Reggie Ortega. In fact, no, Reggie's gotten 4th right at the line over Austin. Brian Pizzakemi in P6, Jonathan Hernandez 7, Corey Cook 8, Travis Massey 9, and Matt Sisler coming home with a top 10. We're just about to get some victory burnouts here for Joshua Banks in the 35. A well-run race there. It looks like Scott Rickard, a non-factor for the top 10. As it looks like he's just waiting for traffic to pass. But I don't know what he's waiting for anymore. Send it, Josh! There we go. With that, we're going to go to another commercial break. When we come back, we will have driver interviews. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Driver interviews will be coming up very shortly. Alrighty, it is now time for our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner. And today's Hard Charger started in 15th position and worked his way up to P5. That is, of course, the 74 of Austin Collins. Austin, um, not a great qualifying effort from you. We usually see you more up towards the front, but a solid result here in what can be described as a very difficult race.
Yeah, that it was. Like I said, qualifying was kind of my practice laps. I didn't get any practice laps in, so I used qualifying there to get a couple laps in and make sure I didn't really want to start up front, knowing Dover is the track that we are that it is, and it can be pretty mean. They don't call it the monster for nothing. So I just wanted to take my time, starting the back, and just kind of get a feel for the car and track combo there. First few laps, and that's what I did. Got a good green flag run there up until about lap 60 ish or something, and had that first caution. And I was almost involved in that. Had a squeeze on the outside, got the wall a little bit, didn't give me no damage though, so that was good. Had the restart there, and they wrecked it big there, right there in front of me. Avoided that, and then from there we had the restart, and I just tried to get all I could on the initial start, and then find my spot to try to save a little bit of right front, and there at the last 30 or 20 laps, I was in what felt like the fight of my life with Reggie, trying to get around him for P4, but ended up getting caught up with a lap car there, coming to the checkered, and couldn't get around him. So that was a good race though. All in all.
It definitely looked like a great race. We were keeping tabs on your battle with Reggie there. I was actually a little bit disappointed that you couldn't quite squeeze out that P4, but it definitely looked like all around it was just a really good race to be a part of there, especially towards the end.
Oh yeah, like I said, me and Reggie we raced hard right there. Like I said, I think I would have had him. I definitely had him. I'd cleared him off into one on the white flag, and then he had got the run underneath of me into three. But that top side was really good, and I was going to clear him, but we had the lap car there. He got the wall in front of us off of four, and I had nowhere to go, and I was still ahead of Reggie at the time. I could have maybe yanked it left and avoided the lap car, but I didn't want to turn myself off of Reggie's nose and go head first into that inside wall and blow the motor and get a 20th place finish. So I took the I just decided to pull the old Carl Edwards and Ricky Stenhouse at Iowa and just try to shove Jack across the line while we were wrecking. That got me fifth still, so we'd take it. Like I said, we're points racing, trying to get it into the playoffs here. So we'll look forward to it.
Well, speaking of the playoffs, we have a 1 week break before we head into the playoffs now. So what's the feeling for you as we go into Charlotte in a couple of weeks to start off the playoffs?
We'll show up and just see what we got. I've gotten a little bit better as the season's progressed here. I feel like in the next gen, still not really have not race winning speed or anything, but have felt a little bit more comfortable driving them. I'm still dead tired after racing these things. They're just a handful all the time, just trying to be as straight as you can, but also not overdoing it because just a hair over the limit will cause you to either wreck or lose a lot of time. So just hopefully go through the motions and we'll see where that gets us.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, Austin, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out all the drivers that show up here at Output, all the admins that put on the league. They all do a great job. And then I thank James for allowing me to be a part of his team, Team Watson Racing. They do a great job with their setups, and they allow me to race them and let me be fast in these open setups.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Austin. And I'm just having a look at the point situation now, and you come in P8 going into the chase. So, congratulations on getting the hard charger here tonight, and good luck in the Team Watson Racing setups chase for the cup.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was our fifth place getter and our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner, the 74 of Austin Collins. Coming up next, we're going to have our third place getter, as long as he undeafens very quickly. There he is. Our third place getter is going to be the 19 of Logan McAnally. Logan, It was a tough race for you. You were one who couldn't get a qualifying lap in. So, what happened in qualifying, and how was your race trying to fight your way through the field?
Really couldn't lay down a qualifying lap. I just accepted that I was going to start in the back and save tire. It ended up working. I think we worked up to sixth before the caution came out. Almost got caught up in that uh halfway caution. Somebody got turned on the outside of him into the wall. But yeah, it was just about saving tire pretty much every week in this car. If you burn your stuff up, then it's gonna be hard to drive.
It definitely looked like it was a bit of a fun race out there, though, especially when you got into dicing with a couple of the cars. How difficult is it to try and make overtakes in this car at this track, which is naturally a hard to pass track?
Well, I was able to hold the bottom a little bit better than most people. I don't know if it's because of the tires or what, but um, you really just have to clear them into the corners. If you don't clear them into the corner, they're gonna hang on your right rear, and you got to try to do it the next corner.
All right, now let's look forward to 2 weeks' time. We kick off the start of the Team Watson Racing Setups chase for the Cup at Charlotte. And I'm just having a look at the standings now. You're coming into it in P6 after the end of tonight. So, what's the feeling like for you as we enter the chase and with you in a fairly decent position there to start things off?
Uh, I think Charlotte will be fun. Doesn't the A car setup's usually tight, a little bit tight there. You can run bottom and top in one and two. Not really three and four, but I think it'll be. I think it'll be a little bit better than that. Dover, good lord, I don't know what it was about this car, but it had so many bumps going to the corner.
Yeah, Dover is usually one of those tracks that definitely likes to throw curveballs at any kind of a setup. But
I think they
before,
resurfaced this a couple weeks ago, didn't they? Or like a month ago.
oh, I don't know, they might have grounded it down a little bit in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But before we let you go here tonight, Logan, anyone who want to give a quick shout out to?
Everybody that puts on the league, everybody that runs the league, everybody runs clean. I like racing with everybody. Um, that's about it.
All right, man. Thank you very much for coming out. Congratulations on coming home P3 here tonight. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week for the start of the chase.
I'll see.
All right, guys. That was Logan McAnally, our third place getter. And he exited stage left before I could move him back into the waiting room. So we'll move on to our second place getter. And tonight's second place getter, the shirtless Superman himself, the 15 of Ken Campbell. Ken, you're up there in the
Yes, sir.
conversation pretty much the entire race. And it almost went bad a couple times with those couple of restarts, but you're able to make the most of it and come home with a solid P2 here tonight for the end of the regular season.
Yeah, really love this track. Usually have really good long run pace and usually get wrecked before I can show it. And so was just glad that we didn't dent the can tonight and was able to get some long runs in.
Definitely looked like it was a lot of fun out there. A little bit difficult at times, but a very interesting setup in the car, reacting very interestingly to the way that the track was tonight as well.
Yeah, it was the worst of both worlds. It would get super tight on you on entry, especially if you overdrove. And I knew that part, and so was able to back up entry. But then it would get super loose on exit as well. But the problem was at some point you just had to go, right? And so I was able to fix the tight on entry, and a lot of guys were having way worse problems than that. But later in the run, when you're pushing, you've just kind of got to fight through it, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And then my main issue was on exit; it would just get super loose, and it was fine if I was just trying to ride in position. But then at the end, when I was catching Banksy and trying to make a move, you've just got to put the power down and hope that it sticks. And it definitely did not. And so yeah, props to him on staying out in front and having the clean air. Because yeah, I thought I had something at the end and just go to put the power down, and it just was not there at all. So.
All right, now let's fast forward 2 weeks. We're going to be going to the start of the Team Watson Racing Setups Chase for the Cup. And you are in the best position out of our interviewees here tonight. You're going to be going into the chase in P2. So, what's the feeling like for you as we head to Charlotte to start the chase for the Cup in a couple of weeks?
Feeling really good. Really like Charlotte. Of course, a lot of people do, but the mile and a halfs I like on here a lot, and so if I can practice qualifying and qualify near the front, I think I'll have a really good shot. If you don't qualify well and have to start in the back, so it's not as easy. I mean, people like Logan can do it, but I can't. So, a lot of mine is just going to be where I qualify, and so I'm going to put in a little bit extra time for that.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, Ken?
Yeah. First and foremost, as always, my wife Casey, kids Logan, Jet, and Easton for all of their support. Everybody in the league. It's just so much fun to come out and race really hard with guys and laugh about it in Discord at the same time. Very respectful racing, and I mean we raced really hard, and we only had 2 cautions at Dover, and that's just huge. Team Conti for their support. If you want to be a better driver, go to teamconti.gg and check them out. And you for up in the booth, and I'm contractually obligated to say that considering the sound clips that you have. So just throwing that out there.
For those of you who don't know, I'm a bit of a serial sound clipper when I'm in Discord with everyone, but it's all right. We won't hold you back from racing shirtless. We know that you choke if you don't. But thanks for
right.
coming out, Ken. Congratulations on coming home P2, and we look forward to seeing what you can do in the Team Watson Racing Setups Chase for the Cup.
All right. Appreciate it. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, guys, that was our second place getter, the 15 of Ken Campbell. Coming up next, we're going to have tonight's winner, and he had to fight for it, and fight for it he definitely did. We're, of course, going to be talking to the 35 of Joshua Banks. Josh, it was a hard-fought race for you. You weren't really in the conversation until that second restart, and you were up there in the top 5 for the entirety of the race. But it was just that second restart where you were able to really take advantage of Ken just making a couple little mistakes here and there and taking the lead.
Yeah, it just we were first run was learning the car, and I thought we could run our pace and try to keep up and maybe catch the leader, but it didn't work out. I burned the right front up pretty quick, so learned from that and was learning that hey, let's just get to the front this time and then try to manage the pace of the field. So once we got to a point where we can grab the lead, it was not easy. I will tell you, Kim made it definitely a challenge when we had a run for the lead, and it was a fun little race there to get it.
It definitely looked like it was a lot of fun, and Ken looked like he was starting to come there towards the end, but just a one more little mistake he made at the very end there in the last 5 laps, and it pretty much just sealed the deal for you there as far as coming home with the win here tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was making me work for it and making sure I didn't make a mistake because one little one would have given him the win. So it definitely was making me sweat, work behind the wheel, manage my stuff to fight. But I knew if he could get to my inside and get a good run, wouldn't have had a chance because the car was just getting tighter that last 10 laps or so. So I was thankful the car held up a little bit and thankful we didn't make too many mistakes. There was a couple things I probably could have done different on that final run to maybe not let that happen. But Ken did a good job managing and running back down and making it a race for sure.
All right, now let's look forward into 2 weeks' time where we start the Team Watson Racing Setups Chase for the Cup. Now, unfortunately, you're not in the chase, but you've done half the races of everyone else, and you're still up there in the points in P16. So, not a bad way to end the regular season. But what's the feeling like for you as we head into Charlotte for the start of the chase for the Cup?
We're gonna go out there and try to win as many races as we can. I know we didn't show up to most of the races this season. Just been busy with life and moving houses and things of that nature. So we just haven't been able to hop on to race much. So now we got settled in, and now we can get to these races and try to compete for wins, and that's going to be the fun part. So don't have to worry about playoffs or anything. We just go out here and race and just have a good time.
It's definitely going to be good to see how you're going to play spoiler for this one, especially with the pace that we've seen out of you. But before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Oh man, shout out to my wife right now because she's putting up a lot right now, trying to deal with two kids who are struggling to sleep. So shout out to my wife for doing what she does. She does an awesome job at it. So thank her for that. Shout out to you in the booth for doing what you do with the broadcasting, and we appreciate you for what you do with that, and the admins for this league, and having a good time racing here, having fun when I do show up, and some really hard, really tough racing, but really clean racing. So very happy about that. So shout out to admins and everybody for putting on a league that's fun and clean and enjoyable to do. So um, also a shout out to the sponsor, my sponsor, Mako Tools, M&J Distributors. It's my little company and work for Mako with Mako. So you got to shout out them as well.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming out here tonight, mate. Congratulations on coming home with the win, and we look forward to seeing you playing spoiler in 2 weeks at Charlotte.
Now we're going to try, buddy. We're going to try.
All right, guys, that was tonight's winner, the 35 of Joshua Banks, looking to play spoiler when it comes to the Team Watson Racing setups chase for the Cup. But that is going to end things off for us here tonight. And what a fantastic race. Only 2 cautions here at Dover. That's almost unheard of. But it was a very enjoyable race nonetheless. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Until then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. We'll see you guys in Charlotte.